Okay, so now what I want to do is want to do blend shapes. Um, and so with my blend shapes, maybe I'm just going to organize my hypergraph here. What is it? I made the new shirt and pants. Just going to put that into the geometry group. There. And now I've got my body and my teeth and my upper teeth and lower teeth. And I made those off screen. They're nothing special. They're just, if you take a look at some of my other demos, you'll see they're nothing special. There's some that make those in other videos. So I'm just going to take these things and yeah, I'm going to later on I'll end up going in and binding those. I should actually bind them right now. Let's just do it while I'm on this. I just grab this one joint here for the head, and if I go skin, bind skin, I'm just going to change this to selected joints, bind. Okay. And so I don't have to do any weighting or anything. And I'm just going to group these. And so typically what I do when I'm making blend shapes is I kind of use a little bit of the old way of doing it and a little bit of the new way. Just call this group here base group. Okay, great. And later on, I'm going to parent this back into the geometry group. We just need it for the blend shapes. So I'm going to make, with this base group, maybe what I'll do is I'm just going to make one group here. I'll just make a duplicate of this so I can work on it. And when I do that, when I make the duplicate, you'll notice that all these objects are locked. Okay, there's all this gray on here, so they're locked. There's extra little nodes on here. If I go and I try to delete the history, these things won't go away. If I go to File, Optimize Scene Size, that will get rid of some of these things. Bloop. Okay, so it keeps it a bit cleaner. In this group here, we're going to just end up using this just to generate new blend shapes. But also to unlock these, if I grab them all at once and I highlight all of these things on the side here and I go unlock, they will be fine. Okay, so I can do stuff with these. I can move them around. I'm just going to take this whole group and I'm just going to move it back slightly. And you'll see that I've got multiples here. Okay, great. Good enough. And at this stage, you don't want to freeze any of these things, okay? These things should be frozen before you bind, okay? Don't freeze them after. It'll screw up what I'm going to do. Okay, and what I tend to do is I notice that I want to open and close the mouth quite a bit when I'm making different blend shapes. And you can do that by moving vertices around, but it tends to be kind of tricky. So I'm just going to grab the face here, and I'm going to grab some vertice here in the front. I'm just going to go and grow my selection. I'll just hit G a few times. And let's see. Probably right around there. Let's do one more. Okay, so I just grew my selection. I got quite a bit on here. I'm going to go to Deform, and I'm going to create a cluster. And let's just go to the side view for a second. If zoom out. This cluster, the pivot point should be somewhere a bit more front of the earlobe. Okay, that's where I find a good spot. If I open this, it does this. Here, let's just go and put wireframe on shaded on this so you can see what the hell I'm looking at. Okay, great. It's not good. And I noticed that I missed a few vertices. Down here, I'd like those to be in this blend shape for making the mouth open and close. Like if I take a look at the jaw area when I move it, that's pretty good. The rest of it is questionable. We'll fix that in a second. I'm just going to move this down just a little bit. And if I grab this piece of geometry and if I go to Deform, down here there's something called, there's a cluster paint weights, but there's also a thing for the Edit Membership tool. No, I want to do Set Membership, Paint Set Membership. And I'll open up the options, and here you can see there's the cluster. And it's highlighting the vertices that are part of this, and you can add them. So if I just paint across them, I can also, down here if I wanted to, I could turn on a reflection so I get both on the same side and stuff like that. Maybe I'll go a little bit further with this. Okay, and that should be more than enough. These ones up here don't need to be on there. You can go and change to remove, or I do believe you hold down control, the control will deselect. So these ones around up in the ear, these are getting ridiculous. Okay, good. But these other ones, these are good. And I'll show you how. So let's go and switch to the next tool. For the cluster, I keep the geometry selected, and under deform there's the paint cluster weights. It says paint weights here. It's kind of hidden a little bit there. And everything's black and white. Okay, that's cool. And there's replace. And in this, with this, what I like to do is replace with a value of 0. And do I have symmetry on? No stroke. Put on the reflection. And I just remove all this stuff. Now there's a reason for my madness. Why did you do it like this? If I go in and I remove it, then I can kind of blend it in a little bit better. You can go and put this on if you want to. There's no nice little ramp or anything like that here for this one. So value of 0. Actually, I thought I switched to that one. That one tends to work a little bit harsher. It doesn't blend quite so much, so I kind of like it. Okay, I didn't get anything up my nose. Some of those ones in the mouth we can fix in a minute. And I kind of remove some of the stuff in the neck. Okay, great. And actually, I'm just going to go and grab that cluster and grab it in the hypergraph or the outliner. You can also go to display, transform display, and put on the selection handle for it, so it's really easy to select. Okay, notice that now this works better. Okay, but we got some issues here. It doesn't really do a good job of deforming the face, so let's go back to the paint cluster weights tool. And let's put this back, so replace the value of 1 so I can get some of the stuff in the mouth. And here I'm just going to isolate this puppy. Oh, there's some on the inside of the mouth that I missed. Damn it! And I put them back on again, replace the value of 1. Okay, we'll figure that out in a second. See, it doesn't work perfect, but whatever. Okay, now I'm just going to go here to smooth. Put on smooth. I'm just going to hit flood. Hit flood a bunch of times. Okay, and it blends it up to all the vertices that were selected. And so now, if I check this out, if I were to go in and grab my cluster, okay, now I got this nice kind of soft fall off here. And this is really nice for making the jaw open and close. Let's go back here, paint skin weights, and I'm just going to go back and use the smooth brush. And so I got smooth on. I can smooth it all I want to. Maybe I'll go back to replace the value of 0. So, damn it! Let's try it again. Why is it doing that? Okay, maybe I'll do the soft edge on this one. Still picking that up. I don't know why it's picking that up. My angle wasn't, and then suddenly it just freaks out right here. And I don't have it smoothed or anything like that, so okay, that should be good. And then I'll go back and use the smooth brush. And we'll smooth it back in again, blend it back in. Okay. Okay, and let's go back to replace again, value of 1. I do like to make sure the jawline's really strong. So I'll do something like that, then I'll go back to smooth. Okay, and I probably should remove those ears. That might end up looking funky. Okay, and call that good enough. Let's just test it out again. If I go back here to the cluster, and when I do this, get this nice mouth that opens and closes here. Okay, so this is going to help me make a bunch of different blend shapes. Maybe one more thing I should do. Here, let's turn off isolate select for a second. When I open and close the mouth, the teeth don't follow. So I want them to follow. So the easy way is here to go into general editors. Nope, it's in relationship editors, and there's deformer sets. And here are my deformer sets. There's my cluster. And if I go looking in my base group 1, there's the lower teeth and the tongue. Come on, you bastard. Tongue. So now when I grab it, they follow along. You can also see when I open up my mouth here, something disturbing. I'm just going to go back here to my paint weights for a second. It looks like this is too soft inside of the mouth. Or, yeah, there might be other problems, but let's just make this small. And find my tool. Make sure that I'm on replace the value of 1. So this is all really heavy-handed in here, and I can deform this and change it later on. Okay, and then some of the stuff around the edge here, let's go and get the smooth brush out. Okay, and I think I'm going to feel good about that. Okay, nice and smooth. Actually, you can even get it smooth on some of these areas here. Okay, and I'm going to call that good. Grab the rotate tool, check it out again, cluster handle, let's just bring everything back. Okay, so that's going to be really easy to make opening and closing of the mouth for my different blend shapes. And I think I'm going to stop the video right here for this one.